There is a perception out there that the property manager is just going to rip you off. And it's been earned. It's an earned perception. There is a way, though, that you can find a good property manager who's going to manage your property, keep everything functional, keep everything clean. So when you show up, it looks great, and actually produce more revenue and income for you than you could on yourself. That's real. You just have to find the right one. Today, we're going to focus on 3 big topics concerning self-management versus hiring a property manager. Is this self-management thing really that hard? Or is it really that easy? Is the income ever passive in short-term rental? And without the understanding and knowledge of online booking platforms, algorithms, PMS systems, am I able to actually maximize my listing? Some folks think that we'll just put it on Airbnb and get some good photos and we can maximize our listing. But can we? All that. Is it true that with the right property manager, I could actually make more money than through self-managing? Meaning, I wouldn't have to pay for a PMS system. I wouldn't have to pay for pictures. I wouldn't have to pay to onboard onto all these others. I wouldn't have to take 7 p.m. calls on Friday night. My property would actually be taken care of. The guests would actually be cared for in a proper way. And I could actually get more bookings and more revenue with the right with the right property manager. It's true. They're out there. They are needles in the haystack a lot of times, but they're out there. So let's focus on the first big topic here. Is self-management really that easy, or is self-management really that hard? Now, there's a lot of folks out there who are willing to tell you that self-management is super easy. All you have to do is list it on there and take good pictures and write good copy and put it on Airbnb, and off and away you are. But with no experience, is this realistic? Now, eventually you have to get experience. So if you want to do this, then it's very doable. The bar is not crazy high, but I will say this. Over the past handful of years, the short-term rental industry has become inundated with folks trying to self-manage, because the amount of educators out there letting you know that you can self-manage has risen sharply as well. And so it's given people a whole new bold confidence, which I am all for enabling people. But sometimes there are things within marketing and property management systems and pricing software that takes up a ton of expense. And it doesn't make sense until you reach a certain scale or have a certain quality of property. And so sometimes hiring a property manager who has scale, who has experience, and who is honest, obviously, is sometimes the best idea. The problem with property managers a lot of times is it's not that they don't know what they're doing. Some of them don't. It's not that they don't know what they're doing in general. It's that they get caught speeding. And what I mean by caught speeding, it's an old IT term we used to use in sales. But when you're speeding, that means you're marking it up too much. And not the property, because obviously you as the homeowner don't care if they mark the property up. It means that there's lots of admin fees attached. It means that there's lots of excess maintenance fees attached. It means that they overcharge you for install of a, it could be anything. It could be a microwave. It could be anything. But the nickels and the dimes, they add up and they end up eating into your profit. And some folks don't even like to advertise on the OTAs. They like to just completely take all bookings direct. Now that's tough. What a good property manager will do, they'll get really, really smart on the algorithms of the OTA. They'll be very, very active every single day. They'll have multiple people clicking in your listing to try to boost ratings. They'll have incredible pictures, incredible copy. They'll know exactly what they're doing. They'll test every day to get you ranked higher and higher and higher. Page 1 of Airbnb is obviously where you want to be. If you're past page 3, that is a really tough spot. And some folks just don't check. And if you're self-managing, how do you know what to do unless you're completely educating yourself every day and you're in it every day? And this whole idea of being a passive investor has gone by the wayside. So many folks get into this game, the short-term rental game, thinking, wow, this is going to be a great real estate play. This is going to be a great passive income play, when really it is anything but passive. It's very active if you're planning on managing it yourself. It's not really anything to do with real estate. There happens to be a piece of real estate that's involved, but this is definitely a hospitality industry. So I guess my point in this is self-management it's very doable, but you have to spend a ton of time every single day. You have to be willing to take calls on the times when you're wanting to spend time with your friends and family. That's 7:00 p.m. on Friday night, 6:00 p.m. on Saturday. It's never noon on a Wednesday. Maybe it is, but hardly ever noon on a Wednesday. So just when you're considering all of this, you can do your work on the front end and hire an incredible property manager. Lots of questions to ask, lots of kind of cultural things that fit with you and your personality that you'll want to find out about. Or you can just kind of commit yourself. Like, I'm going to commit myself to at least an hour a day figuring this out. I'm going to commit myself to maybe hiring somebody to do guest communication in the off hours when I can't. I'm going to commit myself to spending some money up front, meaning if I ever want to build a website, if I want to use a property management system, if I want to use a cleaning software system, if I want to use a ranking system, there's lots of software out there that lots of good property managers will use to help them boost rankings. All right, now on to the second topic. Is this income really passive? And I touched on it on the last one. I got a little carried away and blended my topics here. But let's just say you've figured out the key to self-management. Are you ready for these guest calls at all times on all days? A lot of check-ins are on Thursdays and Fridays. If you're in a vacation market, a lot of check-ins are on Monday mornings, potentially, or Sunday nights. In a more of a business market, my company is traditionally focused on a vacation market, and the times when I want to spend with my family are the times that the guests need the most help. They need the charcoal, or they need to know where the skewers are, or they have a leaky bathroom or faucet. And you're dealing with that right when family dinner is. And so think about this. This is a real thing. One thing you can do as a self-manager, you can always get a VA. You can hire a cleaning team. You could even take somebody on your cleaning team and ask them to be responsible for guest communication. There's a lot of guest communication that can be automated. But just so you know, there are the Karens out there, and there are the ones who are looking to hold this review over your head if you don't do what they ask. And so just so you know, that could be, it could be detrimental to your personal life if you're trying to do this on the side. Just buyer beware. That's all. I'm not trying to discourage. I think anybody can, with a good attitude and great hospitality skills, and people who love people, can get into this and do it. Just buyer beware. The third topic here, without the proper understanding of how algorithms work and the online booking platforms, obviously anybody can be trained. So these PMS systems, they will train you. You call Airbnb, they will give you some tips on how to rank higher. But unless you're committed every day, you'll probably fall down in the rankings. Really, no matter how good your pictures are, no matter how good your copy is, if you get some bad ratings due to guest communication, or if you're not in there every day and active on it every day, you'll fall back in the listings. If you're not marketing on the regular. You'll fall back in the listings. Your bookings will go down. This is the reason that Hilton and Marriott spend millions of dollars on marketing. It's an everyday thing. And so just think about this. Am I ready to be active in my listings every day? And so if we're in this for the money only, and we're trying to cut out professionals in our lives just to chase an extra buck, is this really how we're going to do it? It's not going to be passive. It's going to be active. Is our goal on making the guest experience the best thing possible? Or is our goal on making our money experience the best thing possible? Ideally, what we want to do is focus on hiring somebody that can make the guest experience the best thing possible if we're not willing to do it. And then the money will follow. And if this company is focused on making the guest experience the best thing possible, there's a really good chance they want to make the owner experience the best thing possible. That means they're not focused on nickel and diming and getting every single dollar out. A company with a heart for hospitality, a heart for customer service, knows that if they do the right thing, then the money will follow. So I'm just playing devil's advocate today. Good way to kick off podcast number 1. Super excited about it. But just to recap, is self-management hard or easy? Is this really passive income? And without the understanding and knowledge of online booking platforms, am I really able to maximize my listings? Are you ready to commit yourself and self-manage this thing? Or are you looking for a way to generate passive income? If you're looking for a way to generate passive income, maybe a really, really good manager is the right way for you. Now the key is, if you've made this decision, how do you decide, and what are the questions to ask, and what are the telltale signs that you're actually hiring a really good manager who's focused on hospitality and not just enriching their company? What are the key questions to ask? Here's the deal. If you want to get in self-management, or if you want to get into the STR space at all with a property manager, take a really good hard look at your goals. Are your goals, do they include starting a property management company with hospitality at the very core of it, hospitality for the guest and the owner? Or are your goals to create passive income? Are your goals to be able to scale this thing, or do you just want to manage your own? So you need to take a good hard look at your goals when you get home this evening, or you hang up from this podcast, and decide which is for me. And once you decide, that's when you commit. You either commit to doing a really good job on the front end of hiring a good manager because it is night and day out there, or you take a really good hard look at yourself and decide, do I have the time, energy, and is this what I'm really wanting to set out to do to pretty much create a property management company in and of yourself?